Hi, I'm Jim, and if you haven't seen Latitudes deck stones before, prepare to be impressed. Latitudes deck stones are not only a great looking focal point, they are very effective at protecting your deck, used under grills and portable fire pits. In this video, we'll share the basics of installation with you, along with some helpful tips to save you some time. Every Latitudes deck stone is made from real stone, not from cultured stone, and each is approximately 16 inches square. And because they're made from natural materials, there could be a little variation. Now, the thickness of each stone is 1 1/8 inch, and that includes the joist connector. Uniform spacing and connections to the joist are made easy with these connector plates, which have built-in spacing tabs of 1/8 inch and locking tabs here that work with the deck stone's fiberglass backer. You'll need to cut these connectors with a chop saw or a miter saw, depending on the configuration you need. We'll have more on this later. Proper deck framing is essential. Deck joists must be 16 inches on center, and they must be square and level. Now, in this application for an existing deck, we used a chalk line to cut an opening that is perfectly square. To verify that it's square, the distance from corner to corner must be the same. To adjust the joists so that they are 16 inches on center, use staggered blocking like this between joists every 4 feet and plane down any crowns and be sure to shim any sags. If the joists are less than or greater than 16 inches on center, you'll also need to add 2x4 sister joists like these. Now at this point, for a professional look, we're going to use a router to add a radius edge to the end of the deck boards to match the sides. If you look at the underside of the deck stones, you'll see these ribs that, when installed, must run from joist to joist. Now, there are 3 different configurations achieved with the connector plate. There's this main piece, which you don't have to cut, and that's used to connect the corners of 4 stones. And then you have these end pieces and these side pieces. Now we're ready for placing the deck stones. We know that our opening is square and that our joists are 16 inches on center. We could almost do this blindfolded. Well, not quite. Now, typically you'd place the first row of full-size deck stones on the outside edge and then work toward the house. And just like laying tile, if you need to cut stones in your last row, they'll be less noticeable if they're near the house. Now, in this application, our stones do not require any cutting because our opening is the size we need. If cutting were required, you'd use a tile saw or a skill saw with a diamond blade. Begin by applying a generous amount of exterior construction adhesive directly on the joist in the corner of the first row. Then lay the stone with the ribs on the underside perpendicular to the joists. Flip some connectors so the 1/8 inch tab is used as a spacer. Apply some adhesive on the end piece and secure the end piece with a screw. Now add some adhesive to the other side of the end piece, and you're ready to lay in another stone. Be sure to use a few more loose connectors for proper spacing. Add another end piece with some adhesive. Screw in that connector, and use the adhesive on the other side of the connector and in the corner to finish off the row. Remember that there are no connectors provided for the corners, so adhesive there is applied directly to the joists. To complete the installation of the first row, angle the side connector and slide it in until it snaps into the groove on the stone. After checking for proper alignment, slide one of the whole uncut joist connectors underneath the deck stone so that the screw hole in the middle is exposed. After sliding the side piece into position, screw each of the connectors into place. All right, our first row is all down. That was easy. Just using our side connectors and then our main connectors. We're going to continue doing that for the next few rows. We don't need any adhesive until we get to the last row. All right, we've made it to our last row. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? We're going to use our adhesive again in the two corners and on these end plates. So let's get to it. To be fully warranted, Latitudes deck stones must be sealed yearly. Use a stone sealer from your local home center. Not only will this reduce staining, it'll give you added protection from freezing and thawing. Well, that's it for now. Looks great, doesn't it? Time to put these stones to the test. And don't forget to read the instructions in the package or go to latitudesdeck.com. Now let's see. Where did I put that grill? I am hungry.